Meeting the classics. This is the list of the top 5 most preferred donuts that together drive the most volume for a bakery. So starting off with number 1, it's that Boston cream or Bavarian cream filled donut. Is that a surprise to you?
Very surprising to me. Before we did this research, I would have thought that the glazed yeast ring was #1 donut. It's been around for years and years and years. Not only has it been around, you go into every bakery, they have a yeast ring. So I'm very surprised that the Boston cream is a #1 selling donut, but it's my wife's favorite donut. So if I don't bring home a Boston cream donut to her, I hear about it. So no wonder it's the favorite donut for everybody.
You got to trust the expert. So probably the most important thing we can communicate is making sure you have those favorites. The Boston cream, Bavarian cream, however you prepare it, that is one of the most important donuts to have in the case, and often can even deserve to have 2 or 3 trays. It is so important to showcase that donut. The next 2 preferred donuts that drive volume and don't cannibalize each other are Long Johns, filled with chocolate or custard, and jelly donuts. So the top 3 donuts are all filled donuts.
All filled donuts, yes.
Tell me about what sets an exceptional filling apart.
Oh, when I think of a filling and when I want a beautiful filling for my product, I think about my senses. First of all, eye appeal. I mean, that product has to have eye appeal, has to have a bright, vibrant color to it. You have to think about, okay, does that strawberry, that red strawberry, does that filling really look like that red strawberry? Does that blueberry, that color of that blueberry filling really look like a blueberry? So that eye appeal. Then the next, the taste. I mean, that product also, just like color, has to taste like the real product. The filling has to match the product. Apple filling has to taste like fresh apples off the tree. Blueberry filling has to taste like filling. And then lastly, the mouthfeel. I mean, sometimes a thin, runny filling might not be the best product for a donut. It might leak out. The consistency of the product has to match the process that you're looking for. The filling has to be pumpable. I mean, if you have a filling with a lot of particles, they're big particles, they might not go through a donut filler. So you have to make sure the application matches up to the filling.
It's a great point. So whether it's a fruit filling or a cream filling, fillings are no place to skimp. They are some of the most important attributes of the top 3 donuts. So make sure that your filling program really does deliver for those donuts. One of the other things that surprised me on the research was how important it is to have an apple fritter. So apple fritters across the country were the top 5 favorite. Tell me a little bit more about what you're seeing in fritters.
Apple fritters, you have to have apple fritters in your shop. What do you do with your scrap, leftover scrap from your donuts? You're cutting donuts, you're cutting your rings with the first cut, you're cutting your bars and your shells on your second cut. What do you do with your scrap? You don't want to throw away anything. In the bakery, we're very frugal. We want to use every ingredient as much as we can and not have any waste. Great way to do that is apple fritters. You take your leftover scrap from your second and third cuts, you chop it up, you add your cinnamon and your apple, and you mix it all together. It's all gooey, and you're getting your hands all dirty, and you're making your apple fritter balls. You flatten them out, you proof them, you fry them up. Then when they come out of the fryer, the glaze. Pour the glaze on top of it. That glaze goes in all those crevices and makes this gooey, rich, creamy pockets of filling and glaze. And you bite into it, nothing better.
I have to say, I was surprised and delighted to see the role that apple fritters play in rounding out the top 5 most volume-driving donuts of the case. Not only because they're an important way to be essentially resourceful with your dough in the bakery, but also because fritters are pretty flexible. Apple's not the only way to go.
Apple's not the only way to go. I'm seeing a lot of different varieties of fritters in shops now. A lot of people are doing seasonal fritters. They're doing a peach during peach season. They're doing cherry during maybe Valentine's season or Christmas season. They're doing blueberry throughout the year. I've been to some shops, they call it Fritter Friday. So they're doing 3, 4, 5 different kinds of fritters on a Friday. They call it Fritter Friday. I call them fritter fanatics, so they go crazy.
Well, I love that because as you think about those top most important donuts, they're all pretty differentiated, we can't forget the classic glazed yeast ring. So we do know how important that is. A fantastic glazed yeast ring should absolutely be part of your program. And Larry, what would you say makes a great glaze on a yeast ring?
Dawn makes a great glaze. We not only have different varieties of glazes, they're different consistencies. So you got thin for those people that just want a little layer of thin glaze on it. We got a medium set and a thick set. So depending on your application and what you like and maybe your community, what they're used to, we have the application for you. Also, we have people that are glazing, they're using a glaze, they're flavoring their glaze. Butter vanilla is a very popular flavoring for if you're making your own glaze, butter vanilla. I've seen people use some orange flavoring, some lemon flavoring. So there's different things you can do. Like on the slide here, this apple fritter has a bourbon flavored glaze on it. So there's different ideas you can do to make yourself a little bit different than the next shop.
I love that idea of the butter and the vanilla in the glaze. It really creates a point of differentiation with a classic. So you know that that'll be a strong seller.